It's the things people don't see or don't want to see out of somebody having success.
AI is a better writer than I am.
Yeah,
no
a lot
doubt.
of times.
Yeah.
Whether you use our system or not, we want you to be successful. At the end of the day, when you're a real estate agent, like, you are an entrepreneur.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Elite Zone. Man, we've been having some great times on this show. Just in the past 2 weeks, I've had 3 different guests, and all the episodes are being edited. Really excited to share those with you. Now, today, we have Shauna Stevens again. We just had you and Justin in here just like a couple weeks ago.
Was it that soon?
Yeah. I mean, what was it, a month ago?
I don't even remember.
3 weeks ago? I don't know, but... It was great. It's always great. How are you this morning?
I'm doing very well. How about you?
I'm good. I see you've got your large coffee.
Yes, I've got to have it's a Trente.
Oh, a Trente. Now, is that, do you do like the nitro, or is that just like a cold brew? I know you're only a cold coffee.
It's cold brew. So you can only do Trente in the cold brew.
Okay.
It's got like these regulations of like too much caffeine.
Oh, that's right.
So, and I've figured out how to master my coffee order to get the maximum amount of caffeine.
Oh, how do you do that?
At the lower price. I've tried every single type of Starbucks coffee you could imagine and messed with every ingredient all around.
Okay.
To get the max coffee. I've figured out my science.
Your science. Well, you are a business person if I've ever seen one. She's ROI coffee shopping over here.
I am. I want to get it to the least amount.
Yep. I get it.
The least amount of work.
Good. Least amount of work. So then there you go. You guys need to find the perfect coffee concoction. You can DM Shauna over here. All right. So today, your company, Agent Elite.
Yeah.
I want to do like an intensive, like I want to like really dig into some stuff here.
All right. Let's do it.
All right. So I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit, but I think this is going to be helpful. I want to talk about like the path of an agent that is using Agent Elite's services and tools. Like, what does this look like if I'm an agent and, I could be a new agent, I could be a seasoned agent that just wants to grow, or I could be somebody that really wants to, like massively grow my business. But like, when people say there's tools, there's systems, there's automations, like all this stuff, you hear a lot of that, but specifically, like, what are the tools? When do they come in, and how do they work? So I know that'd be like a big story to tell, but just break it down for me and say, hey, Max, you're a new agent. Here's the first thing we're going to do. And then let's just move through that, because I want to know specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we're talking about the new agent, right? Because we cater to pretty much any type of agent wherever they are in their journey.
Yes.
But it depends. Everybody's strategy is a little different. You're going to run your business a little different than the other person. Your partners, your referrals are going to be a little different than somebody else. That's what makes, becoming an agent, and the ability for somebody to have success, like a big opportunity.
Right.
Because there is a lot of business out there. You just need to work your business the way it works for you.
Right.
So new agent, the first thing we're going to ask them to do is like, let's get in your database. Well, I don't have a database. I just started. Do you have a phone? Do you have contacts in your phone? Right? Let's extract all the contacts in your phone and let's use that to kickstart your database.
Right. By the way, everybody says they don't know anybody.
But they do.
But they do. They know a lot of people. No, well, but I don't want... It's more of a, I don't want to bother anybody.
I don't want to bother. Because there's a fear in their mind, right? A fear of failure to my friends and family. Yes. And I don't want that perception of me to be out there.
Yeah. Or you get that one, like I remember when when I moved out here, I was running daycare centers, kindercare centers.
Okay.
And then I transitioned into being an agent, and that failed miserably, but we don't have to get in. I didn't have Agent Elite. But I remember like I sent out texts and emails to people that I met, like parents of kids, and most people were like, oh, that's really great. But then one woman was like, I'm going to call corporate. You're abusing your, like, she got so angry that I would take her contact information. And this is somebody that, like, I watched her kid, like, her personal number was in my phone. I didn't like scrape the company database, but she was pissed.
Yeah.
And so, and just that one, like, I was like, oh my God, am I doing something wrong? Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what happens. A lot of people are afraid to fail. Afraid of rejection. And at the end of the day, when you're a real estate agent, like, you are an entrepreneur, right?
Yep.
So you have to go through the rejection, the failure, and everything, right? Just because you upload your database and you email them once, text them once, do things like that, it's about the consistency.
Right.
Right? The same thing if you're going to take on any tool, whether you're going to use social media as a tool, the consistency of posting, not just doing it once, not just doing it once a week, not just doing it. It's like, can you dedicate, some time, an hour a week to create the posts and schedule them out? You have to have that consistency, right? So yeah, we have you go through, like, send the database in, right? Make sure that when you are with us, like, you are logging into your system. We have a mobile app that you can download and carry it around with you so that your database and your business is in your pocket every step of the way.
Right.
Every time you meet a new partner, every time you meet a new client, right? Because you're out there networking. Add them to your mobile app right there first and foremost before you ever add them to your cell phone. Because you want the system to start automating, start learning about their interactions, things like that.
And that's what it does.
And then go ahead and add them to your cell phone. Or click the button to call directly out of your CRM, and it'll track that you clicked that call and kind of like log that note or anything on it.
So immediately you're going to take the new agent and you're going to make it so they can easily put their contacts or their database, if you will, into the mobile app. And then when they're meeting people, instead of having to add them to their phone or write down their information or get an email and send one back, they can easily pop open the mobile app, add them in there, and then the Agent Elite system will start learning about this person, the interactions that the two of you have together.
The other thing you want to do that people take for granted, or they go, oh, I'll do it in my MLS, is add a safe search, right?
What's a safe search?
Safe search, like, add the criteria of, like, what somebody would be interested in buying, moving into, selling, right?
Okay.
A lot of people just go, well, my MLS. The only time you want to use your MLS is for that person that is so nitpicky and critical that you need to
find the perfect property.
Filter out everything.
Like must have a gazebo in the backyard.
That's when you use your MLS.
Right.
Other than that, put it in and you can do it directly from the mobile app too, which is great because you don't have to go online every time into the website on a desktop, on a laptop. But if you do it in the mobile app, then it allows it to start learning. It sends them the properties that they are interested in around, like, what that safe search is.
So when you put somebody in, you can add to their contact, this person is interested in,
3 bedrooms,
3
2
bedrooms
bath.
in, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Well, you want to take it even a step further, right? If you look at Pittsburgh, that's a big city.
Yeah.
But most people in big cities, if anybody is in Pittsburgh or you're in San Diego, they're like, well, what community are you going to move into? Right?
Yeah, right.
Make
so
it a little
somebody
bit more
might,
granular.
New York, Washington, the east side of Washington Heights.
You can break it down a little bit more. Right?
Gotcha.
You don't want to send them all of New York City because they're like, I don't want to be over here. I want to be over here. Right? So you narrow it down. You narrow down the price point. Narrow down, add some tags if they've been pre-qualified or anything. The more you add into your CRM, the database, the smarter it becomes.
Yeah. And this isn't just like a regular CRM that you would, like, it's not just like a bona fide Google Sheets system where you can just add people's names and then type notes about them.
I mean, like,
it's got some intel.
It's got some AI behavioral tracking.
Yes.
Right? So, and what that does is it goes, hey, they checked your email.
Yep.
Hey, they looked at your website.
Yes.
They looked at this property. They looked at this property.
Yep.
They liked this. And it gathers that data on them to know when to send things, how to send, like, what properties, what recommended listings.
Right.
Right?
So as an agent, that makes not only my communication more effective, but it also faster and with less brain power because
Yeah.
I don't have to keep and review all these notes. The system knows and it will learn, and then it will suggest the next
Yeah.
thing to do.
And what it'll do is it'll send back to you like a lead ranking, like a rating, to say, hey, they're 1 star, they're 2 star, they're 3 star.
Got it.
Why would that be important? Well, would you rather call a 1 star or a 3 star lead?
Exactly.
Somebody who's opened your emails multiple times versus somebody who hasn't engaged with you.
Exactly.
So that way you're not wasting a lot of your time. Allow yourself to use the tools that are out there
Yes.
to do your job a little bit easier, a little bit smarter, so that you can spend your time in the right places instead
Yeah.
of like just working, right? So like as an entrepreneur, like yes, it's a grind. You have to do the things that people don't necessarily want to do all the time. You have to be consistent, but there's tools out there to make it a little bit easier for you,
Right.
right?
Love it.
And that's
So
really
after
where we come in.
after that, after they get their database and all that's good and the system's learning, and then they're like, okay, now I like want to market myself. Like, how do I? What do you recommend? What do you say? Okay, do you ask like, what do you like to do, or what do you think you're good at, or do you feel that out, or what do you do?
Well, first we want to look at some of the basics, right? We want to look at, how you are, what your digital footprint across the internet looks like, right? Because you got to have the foundation first, the system, because you could have the most leads coming in, you can have the biggest database, you can have the highest ranking. But if the foundation of your tools isn't set up to automate a lot of your engagement, speed to lead, responsiveness, that's the first thing. Tighten that up so there's no leaky holes.
Yes.
That business falls through the cracks.
Right.
The next thing we're going to move into is kind of your online reputation, your digital footprint of like, do you have a Google business? Is it set up correctly? Have you verified it?
Yep.
Right?
Which is, by the way, if you're an agent that doesn't check this stuff regularly, you'd be surprised at how inconsistent your Google business profile can be. And if you've moved, like I was at Keller
Offices.
Williams, now I'm over here, now I'm over here.
Brokerages.
You're confusing Google as to where to direct people when they're searching. So I believe you guys have a listing optimizing tool.
Local presence.
Local presence.
Yeah. So we have a local presence tool that allows you to kind of synchronize all of your directory and other website listings, right? It's not just Google. It's also Facebook, Yelp, MapQuest.
So it's your whole footprint.
It's like your footprint, yeah.
Ah.
And so you want to have the accuracy and consistency across all of them because Google does look at all of those.
Totally.
AI looks at all of
Yep.
those. So you're seeing a lot more searches move to ChatGPT or
Yep.
Gemini
Yep.
or Claude or a lot of these AI systems, voice chat, voice notifications, and
Totally.
research, right?
Yes.
And so they look for consistency across. They want to make sure it's kind of like imagine you had 10 different people out there that knew you were in real estate, but they could know you in different parts. Like, hey, do you know a real estate agent? Yeah, I know Max something. I might have his number.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know Max Bergstrom. Here's his number. Oh,
Yep.
I know some guy. I know a real estate agent. Here might be the number or the address.
Right.
And so what it does is, like, who do we trust
Yes.
at that point?
Yeah, because Google wants to deliver the most accurate
They want
information.
people using Google,
Yes.
right? And so when they deliver that experience, people will continue using them. Then they can charge more for ads, things like that. And so what we do is we can take over all of that with the client, and they can manage it from one location instead of having to log into each one of these. They can update their information. They can check for duplicates.
Right. Yes.
They can, it's great for a reputation management standpoint. You want to know where your business is, how it's listed. When you get a review, respond to review, generate
Right.
reviews.
Yes.
Right? When you look at somebody who is referred to somebody else, a lot of times what they'll do is let me go type his name in, her name in.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And they'll look and be like, oh, you've got a couple star reviews. Okay, cool. But man, this other real estate agent below you has 50
Exactly.
reviews that are
Yeah.
5-star. Like maybe they're better.
Right. Yep, that's
So
important.
you want to take over that control of your brand, your footprint, so that you can control more of like the traffic coming into it.
Right. Absolutely. That makes total sense. All right, so I'm a new agent. I've got my database. I've got it in the mobile app, which is called
Max for Real Estate.
Max for Real Estate. Hey, I like that name. I wonder why. Okay, so I got that. I'm all locked in there, and then you guys are like, "Hey, Max, let's check out your online presence, your digital footprint. Make sure all of that is accurate. That's going to make it so Google knows where to push people. That's going to make it easier for me as an agent to say, hey, go here and leave me a review. It's going to make it easier when everything's synced up to when somebody has a review to get notified about that and where it came from.
You can even respond to it.
Right. You can respond right through.
We have an AI kind of generation.
Okay.
So you can actually go in and have the AI respond to it, and then you can go in and make updates, tweaks. You can even put a story of your experience and then have it kind of make it a more professional response.
Spruce it up a little bit.
That way, because I think a lot of people get stuck on, oh my God, I want it to respond perfectly.
Sure.
How do I respond?
Sure.
And then they miss the boat because they never respond.
No, I'm going to be honest. Like, AI is a better writer than I am.
Yeah,
no
a lot
doubt.
of times.
So I can put in like the emotion behind something, but then
it's got a sentiment.
Yes, but then AI can craft that in a much better. I mean, it would take like an hour for me to be like, write something that's as the tone of this, and this all combined, but also use my unique, because it knows your unique tone as well from you typing in. So there's no shame in using AI. It's not that you're not being sentimental. You're hacking the system.
You're taking out the overthinking that we do as humans, right?
Absolutely.
And allowing it to help you work faster and better.
Right.
Right. And a lot of times people are either afraid of AI and I don't want it to take away jobs and I don't want to do this. No, it's helping you do more.
Yeah.
So that you can accomplish more and help more people.
Exactly. Yep. Totally agree. Great. So I can do that. I can get my reviews. So now if I'm like, hey, this is awesome, but I'm not getting enough business. I'm not, do I need to do social media or should I be getting ads or like how do I approach that?
So a lot of times what we'll do is we got to talk to the agent, figure out their strategy, figure out their budget, right? Now, yes, you should do ads if you have the budget. Don't bankrupt yourself.
Right.
Right. So yes, we have Facebook ads where we can create targeted ads, whether it's around, promoting a listing, promoting your brand or your business. But if you don't have, the budget to spend anywhere from $25 to $100 a day on ads, you're going to kind of be wasting money. It's like, leaving the AC on, but the door's open. Right?
Got it. So it's not that it won't work, but it's not going to get you the bang, the ROI.
Yeah, so you have to remember that, it used to be a lot less expensive to run ads a couple years ago.
Yep.
But as more people get into running ads, the price increases.
Sure.
So now you're competing, just like it used to be easier to rank based off of certain keywords.
Yep.
But the more people and websites that, were built, it became harder. You're constantly competing against each other. It is an infinite game.
Right.
So we recommend, the database first, make sure your Sphere, you're working that system that way. Next, you want to really make sure all of your social media platforms, all of your listings out there are pointed back to your website. Your referrals, your business cards, any marketing you do outside, point them back to your website.
Yep. That's like your hub.
Yeah.
How I always explain this is when people, especially like shockingly enough, I just had a client that has a contracting business but had no website.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Do I really need one?" And I was like, "Dude, yes. I mean, I'm stoked that you're getting so much referral business that you're doing well. But if you want to grow this, I mean, if you don't have a website, you basically don't exist online, right? But I always explain it as like your website is like an island, and the more docs you have going to your island, the more people you're going to get on your island. So if you have your island here, but there's no way to get to it, or people got to swim through a moat with alligators.
You're creating a bottleneck, right?
Exactly. So continue.
Well, the thing is like to get traffic, you have to be sending traffic there too. And a lot of people discount that, right? Well, people just call me. That's great, but you're only one person that can handle one call. Your website can handle hundreds, thousands, right? The other thing we look at is like we try to get people to shift their mindset in certain approaches. I mean, a simple fact of how many times do you get a call when you're in the middle of something or on another call, and you hit that button that says, hey, I'll call you right back, and auto text.
All the time.
All the time, right? Imagine just changing a simple thing is like, hey, I'll be back in touch with you shortly, but in the meantime, check out my website, shaunastevens.com.
Ooh, I like that.
And you have a simple template that you create that's the one I'm going to use anytime I'm busy.
I like that.
And it's directing traffic, which Google loves. Anything like that, the more traffic you get, the more you're popular in the eyes of Google. So it increases your ranking too.
Of course.
But it might be as simple as somebody like, oh yeah, I'll go check out the website, and then they fill out a lead capture form, and that's already putting them in your database. Or maybe they'll find a different way to contact you. Maybe they'll get your email address, something like that. You're providing another service of like, hey, while you wait, here's something you can check out.
Exactly. I love that.
So just one little tweak like that. We want to make sure all those little spots are kind of set up for them.
And is that in the app? Is that like set up in the app? So if somebody calls you, that's how?
No, what we want to do is that's not something we can connect through the app. We walk you through like, here's how you update a little text template.
Oh, got it.
Right?
Oh, okay, so it's
because
like
that's
it's
on
training
your phone, right?
it's on your phone. Got it.
So we do,
it.
So a big part of what we do is provide you the tools, kind of like your gym membership,
right?
And the personal trainers that come alongside it,
right?
So we have a team of client success that is going to be there to help you and coach you, with these best practices.
Yep.
We can't do a lot of things for you,
right?
I don't have your cell phone that I can update those things.
Right.
I can't hack into your cell phone to update. We'll walk you through those.
Right.
Right.
But I think that I'm glad you mentioned that, because I think that's one of the best things about Agent Elite is the fact that you guys do have people to talk to on the phone.
Absolutely.
Because I have spoken with agents, that have had experiences with other, and it's impossible to get somebody on the phone, or the person that they talked to didn't even know how to use their own stuff. Every little thing costs a fee. You know what I mean? So it's really like I'm always like of the mind, and we've worked together for a while, where I don't like to try anything myself 100%. If somebody can show me first, I'll always do that first. And then you don't need to do it for me. Just walk me through it. And like, especially if I'm like a 55-year-old agent and I'm like, hey, I don't know what the hell you guys are talking about. And somebody from, a competitor is just like, okay, well, here, watch this tutorial and, just.
The way that we set it up is we set it up to where pretty much our clients can learn the way that they learn. Right. So yes, we do have help desk with tutorials. We do have videos with tutorials. So for the self-service agent that wants to go through that, you have that.
Yes.
Then we have marketing appointments for agents. We do screen shares constantly with agents, whether we're sharing or we have them share and walk them through. Yes. So we have even weekly trainings. You can jump in and do your design studio or quick starts with the website or things like that. So it's going to cater to the way that you prefer to learn. Yeah, well, and then you mentioned design studio. So now I have my database, I have reviews, I've got, a website, it looks good, but I don't know how to design stuff on Canva. I'm not a graphic designer. I don't know I don't know what to do here. So then you have design studio, which is kind of like a Canva sort of on steroids for real estate agents, kind of. Specifically designed for real estate and the mortgage industry. Right. The professionals. So, we created hundreds of different designs and templates that you can easily plug and play into your business. Yes. The great thing that we did is we took it a step further. Obviously, your name, your contact info, your brand colors, your logos aren't going to change unless you move from one business to the next. Which is easy. You just go in and you log in and you change those. And then any design template you choose, it's going to auto-populate for you. Whereas if you go to a Canva or something else, you have to populate that every single time. You got to go get the hex codes for the colors. You got every time. Yes, exactly. And so what we did is we only focus in this niche of real estate and mortgage. Which they kind of go hand in hand with each other. Yeah. And the designs, everything is created from that standpoint. All you have to do is update the property address or update the picture of the property, things like that. The other thing we do is we are connected to a print shop. So within this print shop, you could actually design a postcard, say, okay, I want you to print out 500 of them and send them directly to me.
Mm-hmm.
Or I actually want to go in and select an area or a zip code. And as long as it's over like 200 places, because, you need to send to at least
of course
200.
Otherwise
not
you're
just
wasting
20.
money. You're
just
wasting
money.
Yeah.
You got to have a big enough, database to go through.
Have it make sense.
But you can go through and say, hey, I want to, do a polygon search in this area and have it send, or I want to send to this area.
And they'll send it directly?
You can narrow it down by certain demographics so that if you want to target a neighborhood or anything.
Yeah.
And then what it'll do is it will print it. It will do all the postage and it will send it automatically. And then it will give you that list of addresses and emails that it sent it to. So that if you wanted to door knock or anything or kind of get your name out there,
yes.
Then it gives you that address. What it's not going to do is it's not going to give you their phone number.
No.
And things like that because, TCPA laws, like you can't just sit there and call people.
Right.
Well,
hey, I send you a postcard, so
their approval. You can
you
send
opted
postcards,
in.
things like that, right? Now, the great thing is put your website on that postcard.
Totally.
It is a lot easier to remember a website, ShaunaStevens.com or
and keep the name like
something simple.
You use AI. AI will come up with a great catchy name. Something simple.
Then it is to remember a phone number.
Yes.
Even when we see billboards or TV advertisement, so many people call me, but the website is so much easier and non-threatening.
Right.
We're in a society where people are afraid to talk to people.
They are. Well,
Weird to me, but it's where we are.
Sure.
So it might not be your fault that that's where.
No, I mean,
are,
as marketers, I mean,
but it is your problem.
Right.
Right.
A few bad apples ruin it for the whole bunch.
How are you going to look at this problem and find a solution? But too many people go, oh, it's hard because people don't do this. Oh, it's hard.
Yep.
There's a way.
Yep.
So fine.
Yeah, that's cool. So that's like a great lead gen tool right there.
Yeah.
Especially for the agent that's like, hey, I like there are some mental defectives out there that love knocking on doors. And I say mental defect, I'm very jealous of these people because I'm way too sensitive for door knocking.
Yeah.
I only say mental defective because I have the utmost respect for somebody that will go out and knock on doors all day long.
Absolutely.
That is
the door slam
rock
in your
star.
Face,
that is rock star.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
So if you can do that and ace that, I mean, you're going to do well. You're going to do well. But it's not for everybody. So, okay. So now I've got my database in the app. Things are easy. It's learning about all my clients. I'm getting reviews. I'm synced up online. I've got an easy way to, design branded material, send it out from a print shop. I can do ads if I want.
Yeah.
And I've got a website that looks great. So, I mean, I'm a legit branded real estate agent. And then what I've seen is you guys also have trainings, guides on stuff that there's like the tools of Agent Elite have nothing to do with it. It could be referral.
So like our goal is not to sell, just sell. Yes, we are a business, right? But our goal is to make the industry successful.
Yes,
again,
right.
Right. And so with that, it's like we can provide the tools, but we also need to provide insight and coaching outside of just the tools, right? What are some other ways outside the box that you can be doing, from how to generate referrals, how to, respond to social media posts, how to post, just how to run your business, like time management, which gets away. So we have Agent Elite University, which we give free to agents. We are constantly adding more into it. We're getting ready to add a couple more courses just on how to manage your system a little bit easier and better for you. But even mindset, right? So we have that tool. We have other guides that we, as part of like our onboarding and everything, we're constantly sending out different guides and cheat sheets for agents to utilize. Whether you use our system or not, we want you to be successful. Right? We want the industry to be more successful. But, I kind of get away from like the easy necessarily, because a lot of people think, oh, let's just sign up for Agent Elite, grab all of their tools. It'll be super easy. And then I don't have to do anything and homes will sell.
Yes. Wouldn't it be wonderful if that's how it worked?
If that's how it worked, then I would be hiring more agents. And we would become a brokerage and we would keep that sauce to ourselves.
Exactly.
Right? it is a business. It is your business. You are an entrepreneur. You are going to get rejected. You are going to go through failures and mistakes.
Yep.
Don't allow it to stop you.
Yep.
Use it as an opportunity to learn how to be better the next time.
Yeah, and just staying in the game. I mean, you had turned me on to Alex Hormozy, and I read $100 million offers, and he's talking about how his first 4 or 5 businesses failed. Miserably.
And that's what people don't see.
And he lost $1 million.
Millions.
It's after that, I would be like, okay, grab the rope. I'm done.
Right? And that's the difference between a successful agent or entrepreneur and one that's just a weekend warrior.
Stay in the game.
It's stay in the game. It's the consistency. It's a discipline, right? It's the things people don't see or don't want to see out of somebody having success, right? And so, yeah, we don't please or we're not for every single agent out there, right? Because you're going to get upset, and a lot of times, unfortunately, we get blamed if somebody's not having success.
Sure.
But when we dig down and see why didn't they have success, it's they weren't using their system. You need to log in.
For sure.
You need to add leads to your database.
Yep.
Hey, if you want to be successful, add 3 leads every single day to your database.
Right.
Now, not 365 days a year. Do I wish you would do that? Absolutely, because you'll have more success. But it's a numbers game. But if we factor out the weekends and the holidays, the things that interrupt us in life, let's just say you have approximately 200 days in the year. If you add 3 leads to that database in 200 days a year, you will have 600 leads that you're adding a year.
Right.
Does that mean every single one's a slam dunk? No.
Of course not.
But
you got to work on
if you focus on that, might bring you an additional 3 to 4 deals a year.
Mm-hmm. Right.
What will that do as you compound and as you build? Now let's look at it at an agent has been doing that for 10 years. 6,000 leads in their database.
Yep.
It gets the compound effect
Yes.
of the hard work and the grit and the grind and the consistency.
Year over year over year.
People are too afraid to be consistent. And so that's the hard part. If you think about the gym,
you don't see the results right away.
You don't see the results right away. So, but if you go in 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week, where will you be in 6 months?
Yep.
6 years.
Yep.
Right?
Exactly.
That's the challenge is we want instant gratification.
Yep.
If I buy this, I want to get this. Instead, the person that is consistent day in and day out, they're the ones that are winning more often.
Yes. Well, and I'll say, for Agent Elite social media, I just ran a report for that yesterday, and the month over month now, we've seen some really, really big gains in reach, in engagement, and things like that. And we've been literally posting almost every day for the past 3 years.
Yeah.
Video, like expensive stuff that takes sitting here doing this.
Yeah.
And so, but doing that for 2 years straight without really much to show for it gets very frustrating.
It does.
But if you stay in the game, that's, the only way you'll lose is if you quit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you have a system and you don't work the system, it's not the system's fault. You can't blame the system.
And that's the hard part. Is who
You didn't do
really
it.
wants to look in the mirror and go, damn, that was me.
Yeah.
I'm the one that,
Yep.
or they look in the mirror and they go, I should have done this. I could have done this. I would have done this. I'd be here. Woe is me.
Yep.
And it's just execute. Just start one thing. So the biggest thing that I want to, that we try to tell people over and over is don't look at the end result right now. I know it's so hard. I want to be here. I want to sell this many, and I want to be, because it's going to buy me this. It's going to, yes, that's great. But if you actually look at and make your goal around something that you do every day, your process, right? Set your goal right now, adding 3 leads a day to my CRM. That's it. Just set that goal and set the goal of doing that every single day, Monday through Friday. Mm-hmm. Okay. Don't beat yourself up if you miss a day or the weekends. Set the goal of doing one thing a day for the next month.
Yep. And that's it.
And then you can add something later on. One thing a day plus this
break
one
it down.
thing. And you break it down, and next thing you know, you've created a habit and a routine. And if you get inside that habit and that routine of 3 leads a day to your system, and when you add it, and then you come in and now we teach clients, okay, the next thing we're going to do is 3 leads a day, go update a safe search once a day. Well, what if I don't know what homes they're interested in? Or what if they didn't answer? Just add to any safe search. Be very broad. They want 0 to 5 bedrooms. They want in all of the county, bigger city. Well, that's not what they're looking for. Well, would you rather have somebody not respond to you or respond to you and say, actually, I want a 3-bedroom, 2-bath in Poway.
Yep.
Can you please fix that? You got my listing. You got my safe search wrong. I'm not in this area. Yeah. Oh, I apologize.
Yeah, right.
Now you're creating an engagement.
Right.
They responded back to you, whether it was.
Yeah. Plus, nobody's going to call and be like, I can't believe you got the safe, they're not going to call and yell at you, You
would rather have somebody respond to you saying, hey, this is wrong, than not respond to you at all.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
And if you become consistent over and over that way of like, just simple, log into your CRM 3 leads a day.
Yep.
And then a safe search. You will be amazed at the traction you have in a year.
Love it.
With the engagement.
I love that. All right. Well, you guys heard it from Shauna Stevens from Agent Elite. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. It's been great having you on. You're still working on that coffee, I see. So we'll let you get back to that. And hey, you guys out there, if you like this episode, like, subscribe, share. If you want to hate on it, that's fine. If you don't like my shirt today, go ahead and drop that in the comments. We like that stuff. And have a great week until we see you again. See you later, everybody.